pack or not to pack.
All right. What's good, everybody? So I guess that versus is out the question now.
Oh yeah, because they were supposed to do it the beginning of September. It never happened.
Right. And now it's October.
You know, right? So it's like,
Just a minute.
what's the point?
Just a minute. Versus is dead. Y'all had a good run. Then y'all got greedy. Here it is.
Exactly.
Y'all had a good run. What else is going on? What else is That last episode of Power was crazy.
I didn't see it yet.
Oh shit! I ain't gonna say shit then.
I'm gonna definitely watch it at some point.
Y'all talking about Motorhead in the chats. Okay. Share this video a couple times. Shoot. Shout out to the R&B representatives, by the way. We just recorded a dope episode this past Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah. Whenever that shit's gonna drop, I don't know.
yeah, no doubt.
So Usher's gonna be on the halftime show for the Super
Yep.
Bowl, and he's dropping an album that day too.
Hopefully it's good. I haven't liked the Usher album since what? Raymond versus Raymond.
Hell, I didn't even like that album like that.
I know. The little EP he did with Zaytoven was cool. We did a review on that.
Yes,
Surprisingly, that
sir.
got a lot of views for that. I was surprised, and we don't even talk about that project, but I liked it. But other than, but his full album, Raymond versus Raymond for me, I haven't liked shit after that. Hopefully, this is a good album.
Right. Hopefully, my nigga, because if you drop an album and he's on Super Bowl, the halftime show, and your album whack, I don't know what to tell you.
I never saw Usher live. Definitely would like to see him before he drops dead. Have you seen him?
Never seen Usher live either.
No. Ashley never seen him.
I don't think she's seen him either. I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely would like to see him. He's like one of the best.
My nigga in Vegas.
Yep.
I spoke to Jalen. He said he's down to do the Mary J. Blige double review.
Mary J. So
Yeah. Hmm?
what's up? That's what's up.
Yeah. I'm gonna re-listen to Love and Life probably this week.
Hmm.
See what the fuck I'm missing. All right, I might start in 5 minutes. Not gonna be on live too long tonight. Oh, I've got my cameras off. Shit. Yes. 10th anniversary in 17 days.
Yes.
My
What you
birthday is
doing
a
for
month
that?
away.
What you doing for that? You gonna get banned on that day or something? What you,
Nah, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna do something
okay.
thinking tonight. It's
You
gonna
got
be
you
a
gotta have like a
surprise.
drink. I'm gonna
You
have
said what?
I'm gonna have a drink on live stream with you. You can have a drink.
All right.
You want to toast to your 10-year anniversary on here.
It's gonna be a Q&A. It's gonna be a lot of things. So stay
I'll have
tuned.
some peach moscato or something. Something like
Okay.
you know.
I gotta definitely see my work schedule too, because I'm not really trying to have it late that day. Honestly,
What? Will you remember the day? What day is it?
October 19th.
Oh, okay. That's what's
Hold
up.
on.
No, I'm not drinking Henny.
Let's see.
I don't drink all that. Moscato. That's what I drink.
Oh, that's on a Thursday. Okay. Let's, hopefully my schedule's not too crazy. You wanna know what you're gonna get that day? I don't even know what I want to do that day. I tell you right now, I'm about to play some Super Mario World while I do this review.
That's what's up.
My niggas don't know shit about this. You know what I love about video games back in the day?
Hmm.
Now sometimes like growing up now that shit's harder than it looks sometimes and shit.
Shit. And try using 99 lives in Contra. Still ain't finished that shit.
Yeah, some games I like to take my time with.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's weird because I could never finish Contra, but I could finish Halo 3 in like 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's been many games where I finish in like a 6 hours to 2 days, and a game like Contra I should have been finished.
Shit.
And
Some
we
niggas
it was a
just
struggle. It was a struggle back then too, because all we had was the game guide for them shits. We didn't even have IGN or
right.
YouTube and all that. It's easier now to finish a game than the 80s. You know
Exactly.
that shit took
Well,
us forever to finish. Like it took me for I had to actually like I had to cheat and not even cheat. I had to do a shortcut to finish Super Mario. For some reason, Super Mario 2 always. I could never grasp that the way that they did it. Because you played Mario 2 before, right?
That's the one with Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad, right?
Yes, well, all of them had him. I'm just saying like the way that they did it, like it was different. It was very different from Mario 1 and different from Mario
Yeah,
3. But it was
yeah, I know
like I
what you.
think the secret doors and shit, it just I couldn't finish it the regular way. So I had to, I had a friend of mine that showed me a shortcut and had to like skip like maybe world 1 to like world 7, and then I was able to finish it. But we had it harder back then. Nowadays you can finish a game in a couple hours, which is probably why I finished a lot of the games in the 2000s on Xbox and PS2 really fast because we had the internet. You could just look up the whole game walkthrough. Like we didn't have that back then. We only had the game strategy guides for that, and even that shit was hard sometimes. Like if you're looking at the guide and it's like you're not really understanding, you know, where to go. It's a lot easier
Right.
for gamers now compared to like 80s and 90s. So
Yeah, man. Because I remember back in the day, you had to press all them fucking buttons just to
right,
activate a cheat.
we had the cheat codes back then that helped us, but there was no place to go, and they used to, some of them had, we used to have like the hotlines where you could call a hotline up. You know what I'm
Oh
saying? But I
wow.
didn't I didn't I only did that like once, like just to see what they would say. But if you wasn't following the guide, if you didn't have the game guide for like Final Fantasy or Ninja Gaiden, you was asked out. You know what I'm saying? And there were games like Bayou Billy and like I said Contra that I never finished because it was just I couldn't get through the whole game. You know what I'm saying? And then when the ladder systems, I don't know. Super Nintendo, when I had that, it was easier for me because, well, I mean, having like if you played Super Mario World, is like playing. That's like playing the OG Mario games on Nintendo. So
Right.
playing that was easy. Killer Instinct. NFL Game Day, NCAA College Slam. All those games were easy, but once we got the internet and we had like the shit to look up on, and yet IGN came into play and GameSpot and all that. It was easier to finish games. So they were actually like showing you the levels and stuff. And now I think it's just easy as hell. You could finish a game in an hour. You know,
It'd be like that, man. And it's crazy too, because it's like these niggas these days they be speed running their fucking games and shit. You know what I'm saying?
what you mean? Like,
Because sometimes like they be on Twitch, they be like pressing like a certain button to make the screen go faster, or if they playing on
mhm.
the emulator and stuff like that. And it's like
Oh,
that's how they be. That's how they be trying. It's like, oh, I beat this game in an hour. I was like, yeah, of course, because you
right.
sped run that shit. What the fuck you mean?
Yeah, I ain't doing all that. I like to actually experience the game while I'm playing it, even if it's a
Exactly.
level that I'm having trouble with. The gaming experience is an experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to rush through a game just to say like, "Oh, I'm finished with it." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
You just
Tomb Raider. I played Tomb Raider on PS1. I had that one.
shoot. I never. I heard that was good though.
You know, Tomb Raider, the recent ones, the ones on the next gen systems, are good. Like I like the gameplay and the game design for those. It was good. Even on PS1, it was good. It was like ahead of its time. You know,
Right. But I don't know about you. I want to play this video game out this review and shit like that. I'm ready whenever you are.
let's go.
What's up, you two? How's everyone doing this lovely, lovely, lovely Sunday night? The best night to watch us, to kick off or end off the weekend and everything like that. What do I mean kick off is Sunday? Small's my little saying. This your boy Reg in the building. You know, 10 years in the game, next 17 days. Got my homeboy Try with me, Giants fan, New
Yo,
York, of course, New York representing. How you doing?
chilling.
That's what's up. Before I start, I want to give a quick happy birthday shout out to my boy Coogee. You know what I'm saying? Happy
Coogee.
birthday to Coogee. It was nice hanging out with you in the Ville and everything like that too. Shout out to Coogee, shout out to Justin, shout out to your lovely family, including your wife and kids. You know what I'm saying? So besides the point, you guys already know what we're about to talk about. If you read the title, it's Heavy D and
Yes.
the Boys, Nothing But Love. This
Yes.
album
Yes.
came out May 24th, 1994. Of course, on Uptown under MCA. It came out with the singles Nothing But Love, Got Me Waiting, Black Coffee, and Sex With You. Producers include Eddie F, Teddy Riley, Marty Monk, Eric Sermon, and Pete Rock. It does have guest appearances, but it's like only on the intro, just letting y'all know. LL Cool J, Buju Banton, KRS One, Cool G Rap, Lil Sean, MC Light, Martin Lawrence, Pete Rock, Possible K, Q-Tip, Queen Latifah, Spike Lee, and Trash. So by this time, you guys should know who Heavy D and the Boys are and everything. We've talked about their first four albums. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We're still on Artist Sunday.
Yep.
And next week, oh, Charles already showing the booklet, dope. Next week, we're going to actually kick off coverage on their solo albums. I had to double check to see if I actually had the CD and stuff like
Yes.
that too. So, yes, and I got the CD. All right. So, it's no surprise. And if you guys have watched my channel long enough, this is actually my favorite Heavy D and the Boys album. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of a surprise to a lot of people, believe it or not, and I'm gonna get more into that. But so after the release of the Blue Funk album, they didn't really waste no time and everything like that. Like I mentioned last night, or excuse me, last week, they were still in a somber mode with Trouble T Roy's death. That some fans, the diehard fans, they love this album, but like and I'm just gonna, I don't be blunt when I say this, the Heavy D, the Heavy D love man Heavy D fans, they pretty much say it's not their cup of tea. They weren't really used to that sound for Heavy D.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So also too, I forgot to mention. Let me just double check one thing to make sure I'm chronologically still into. Also, the same year, Eddie F, he dropped his album Let's Get It On, the album. You know what I'm saying? And spoiler alert, we're gonna actually talk about that album, not on Artist Sunday. That's gonna be throughout the week after we talk about the Heavy D joint. So that's gonna be a dope one and stuff like that. I've never actually heard this whole album. I've heard, of course, the song "Let's Get It On" with Heavy D, Tupac, Biggie, Graham, Puba, and Spunk Bigger. Love that record. Spoiler alert. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's gonna be right after we talk about the Heavy D solo joint. So be on the lookout for that one because that's album never really been talked about and
Yeah.
everything like that too. So I can't wait to really get talking about that. So Heavy and the Boys pretty much, mm, excuse me, they will pretty much like get back to their familiar territory and everything like that, and also come out with this fucking record right here, which is right here. So when I think about this album, and if you guys read the title, I say return to form or conflicted comeback because you know, not saying like I said, and I'm gonna say this once for all, they never had a bad album together.
Right.
I loved all their albums, but what I mean by this, when I say return to form, a lot of people have kind of said that this was more like a comeback album because this album went platinum, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of his section songs are on this record. That is true. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like up to this point, it was a mixture of all the styles from his first four albums. It has like the frivolous joyness of Living Large. It had the sophisticated smoothness, the Lover Man smoothness, whatever you want to call it, of Big Time. It had the maturity of Peaceful Journey. And you can even say it has the griminess of Blue Funk in some songs. Stay tuned on that. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So I kind of think this album is like everything that they accumulated on this album, like what they did best and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I also say it's a conflicted comeback. This is also true because, I sometimes I like to read some of these forums,
Mm.
and a lot of people love the Blue Funk review we did last week,
Okay.
and I like sometimes hearing from people who actually grew up in that era,
Mm.
not like some of these newer cats. 'Cause sometimes you'd be like, "Oh, Heavy D, I didn't know Heavy D did this," but just in an
Mm.
authentic view. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who said that Nothing But Love wasn't really hitting as much as Blue Funk.
Really? I never heard that.
Yeah, I
I
had
mean,
never heard that
to
until I.
me, I think he was in his prime. He was at the hottest peak with this album came, especially when the title track, when the video for "Nothing But Love" came out, and that was the second time I saw him in concert in '94. He was on the R. Kelly
Right,
tour with Coolio, Warren G. Rest in peace, Coolio, and he 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 killed it. He was killing it. He was dancing better than the choreographers. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
when you see him dance in Black Coffee video, that's the steps he was doing on tour, dancing better than his dances, and I think that's definitely like there was a lot of promotion for this. It was everywhere. Even with the booklet, you look at the booklet, it has like a '70s old school feeling. With the when we were rocking afros and we had like the afro
right,
picks and the shaft looking black leather jackets, and it was definitely I don't I love all their albums, and Blue Funk was different because it was, to me, his most street album. He didn't really have a lot of radio friendly songs on that one, and this one he returned to
right.
form, like you said, and came out with the radio joints, came out with the joints for the chicks, and I think it's definitely he was definitely in his prime when this joint came out. So
Yes. And again, that's why I love actual reviewing people that like reviewing you because you actually grew up in that
right.
era and everything like that too.
Yeah, I
And
never heard nobody say they prefer Blue Funk. I mean, people got their favorites because I do have my favorites from the group, but I
yeah,
never heard like one bad, review or comment about the album. So
yeah, like I said, it kind of caught me off guard and everything like that, because people they definitely have their favorite Heavy D and the Boys album. I hear like a lot of varied choices. Like
mhm,
I feel like the most ones I've heard was either Big Time and the Blue Funk joint. You know what I'm saying? But then I also hear people say that they even love the Living Large album. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not even gonna hold you. The album to me is very slept on. I feel
right,
like the production for 1987 was very clean and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And you also got to remember there was another overweight rapper who came out in '94 that you can pretty much say was kind of influenced by him if you want to go that route. Notorious
right.
B.I.G. Ready to Die came out I think like 4 months after this album. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. And
Not trying to say that Biggie bit from Heavy D.
he even shouted out heavy on "Ready to Die."
Yes, he did.
You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm saying?
So
Not trying to, and Heavy was on the One More Chance remix video too.
yes, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
hmm
Yeah, man.
So yeah, not trying to say big bit from Hev. That's not what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say. But at the same time, it was like, how can I put this?
I've heard people say that even when we reviewed the series that Angie Martinez had for Life After Death, like Big and Heavy made it cool for big guys. Like they
Bingo.
they they made it cool. It wasn't about them being fat, fat like the Fat Boys. They were fat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big and Heavy for the more big boned guys. They bought a certain swagger, for them. And I think Heavy D was like a teddy bear for a lot of people, and you know you didn't hear about him in no beef. You didn't hear about no scandals with him. I didn't hear nothing in the media about Heavy D when it with any
That's so
scandals
for
or
real.
yeah. Well, other than that, and that came out years later because even when they came out, there was no talk about that. But
Exactly.
with Heavy, you didn't hear about no. He wasn't in no beef with people and stuff, and they just they just brought a certain swagger to for big guys. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was part of their success, like to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't going out and getting no lipo and shit like that. Like women on the other hand is a different story. A lot of these chicks now get BBL and all that, and but you know they were just themselves, and they just was like fuck me. What Biggie said. I went from ashy to classy. That's just what it was for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That I think that was just part of their why everybody loved them. You know what I'm saying? Because they were just big and they just didn't give a damn. They just was gonna be themselves.
Yes, definitely. And yeah, that's one thing like I love listening to their music and shit too, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these motherfuckers they just like to adopt a persona, like everything. Like everybody's now a devil worshiper now, you know what I'm saying?
Rick Ross lost weight and he came after them. He's not in that same from that same cloth.
Right. Yeah, man. Other than that, we already talked about album art. Let's get right to the music. So this album has 13 tracks. We're gonna get started with the intro, Friends and Respect. Now, this is what I mentioned about how Autumn guest appearances were here in this album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? You had, of course, Cool G Rap, Karis One, had LL Cool J. You all giving love to Heavy D. Usually, I don't really care for skits like this or intros like this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, with this one, I can let it slide because Heavy D was really that beloved figure in hip hop. He's still missed today. When it comes to like a lot of hip hop circles and everything like that. Even though I don't see him being tributed a lot during this whole hip hop 50 thingamajig, but you know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that. Other than that, this is a very, very, very great intro. You know, way better than when Praz did that little intro in that Ghetto Superstar album. Yeah,
Uh,
that's all I want to say.
I think it ran a little bit too long. 5 minutes without no rapping, and all we're hearing is a voice machine voicemail of different artists that love him. I get it. I don't think it should have been 5 minutes. It's just too long for an intro. You know what I'm saying? And you're hearing from Queen Latifah and Q-Tip and LL Cool J and just different artists that respected this man because he had respect in the game and it was great. I just feel like it just ran a little bit too long. It could have been a couple of like make it a minute. It could have been a minute long. I don't think we needed 5 minutes of people calling up Heavy D's voicemail. Like I don't
I
want to
mean,
hear a shitload of voicemails for 5 minutes. Not even on my own voice machine. I don't want to hear it on his. So it was a nice way to open up the album. I just thought it ran a little bit too long to me.
yeah, and that's understandable and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely get that. Track number two, Sex With Me. It should be noted that this is one of the three beats that Pete Rock did for Heavy D at this time, a little less than some of the other production that he's especially on Peaceful Journey and on Blue Funk. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? This definitely was a hot joint right here. If you guys recognize that sample, that was the same sample that De La Soul used for Ring Ring Ring. One of my favorite songs from De La Soul is Dead. You know what I'm saying? I love that
Yes.
record. And for all my R&B heads, Jaheim also used that same sample. You know what I'm saying too? Very
Yes, sir.
underrated singer if you ask me. But yeah, man, self-explanatory. Just Heavy D trying to get some skins and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No surprise there. But I like this record. Do I feel like it did a better sample than De La Soul? I'm still a De La Soul to the day I die, so I gotta be biased to be on my. Oh yeah, De La Soul got the sample better, but Pete Rock definitely did his thing on that sample. It definitely sounds like something you would hear from the main ingredient that album and shit
Mhm.
like that too. Very
Yeah.
dope record, dope song. Love this one.
Great, great song. I love it. Love Pete Rock's beat. The sample. It's a dance track. And have he just letting the women know. It's not all about sex with you. because all I want to do is get next to you, and he was a gentleman. Even if he wanted some ass, he still was gonna be a gentleman to them at the, after. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't about let me hit it and run, but I enjoyed it. There's a video for this as well, and classic record.
Definitely. Track number 3, Got Me Waiting. This is actually my favorite single, keyword favorite single off this
Same,
album.
same, same.
You know what I'm saying? It got my girl Crystal Johnson singing on the hook. You know what I'm saying? Very dope singer. If you guys listen to like a lot of 90s hip hop and R&B, you would have definitely heard of vocals here and there shit, you know what I'm saying? Um Uses a very smooth Luther Vandross sample and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? Classic first album, never too much. Definitely got to do more Luther reviews too, because I got a good amount of his 80s albums, and I got
Hmm.
Power of Love.
The
So
best
yeah,
stuff.
them Luther reviews, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If we do ever do an artist Sunday, then we'll just probably stick to
Hmm.
those years for now for the first part, and then
Yeah.
when we get to the latter years, we'll probably just spread them out and shit like that. I'll see about that, but yeah, this one right here was very, very, very dope. You know what I'm saying? I love Heavy's flow on this one and shit too. This definitely like it's like again my go-to. If I ever am in a mood to actually hear his album, this is always the first song I go to. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So very, very, very dope joint. And of course, Pete Rock also did the beat on this one too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So but number one.
Love it. Love it. Classic record. Really smooth. Love the beat. The bass line, the whole sample of that Luther track was great. This was like the first single from the album, and even in the video, like it's just him and G Wiz and Eddie F and some chicks, and they just playing around, and definitely a banging track. You'll let me know because it's gonna haunt me. Word up, I think I got you got me thinking you want me. Love that whole record is classic to me. Like just to see him perform this live was just great. You know what I mean? And yeah, this will always be one of my favorite Heavy D and the Boys records.
I agree. I fucking agree with you about that. Like whenever I hear this joint right here, like this whole
Hmm.
album, it just really just makes me say, you know what? Yeah, heavy, 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 man. Like this is just the first thing I always think like when it comes to Heavy D and
Yeah.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this joint right here is definitely one of my favorites. And my second favorite single is actually the next track, Nothing But Love. Now, this is actually to me their signature song, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like I feel like Heavy D was really one who actually made that phrase "nothing but love" very popular and shit like that. Because ever since he came out with that joint, everyone
Hmm.
started saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he had Vinia Mojica, one of the greatest singers of that time and shit like that. Every time you hear her voice, certified classic.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say. And this joint right here, I love the beat. Like I got nothing but love for you. What you got? I got nothing. I just love that intro when the beat
Yes.
drops and stuff like that. The
Hmm.
video. I mean, this is just a quintessential hip hop song in the golden age at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I wish hip hop was really more fun like this. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Hmm.
like I said, everyone's now being a devil worshiper, and I get it. I love a little experimentation.
Right.
I love my gangster rap. I love a little trap here and there.
Hmm.
When it's good. But at the same time, too, it's like we don't get those anthem like Hip Hop Hooray,
Right.
Nothing But Love. I would even
Hmm.
take it to the 2000s to like Cameron's Welcome to New York. That Come Home with Me
Yeah.
review.
Yes.
Don't miss that shit. Don't miss
Facts.
that shit tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock,
Facts.
special time, 8 o'clock.
Facts.
Don't
Eight
miss
o'clock.
that shit. Hopefully, I can still end in time to make it to Lashia's Jeopardy so I can get some $20. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Lashia. Um, yeah, but anyway, other than that, this is actually a very, very hot joint. That thing they did do a remix to this one, which spoiler alert,
Mm.
since I know I'm going to talk about the Got Me Waiting remix. I didn't really care for the Got Me Waiting remix. Just letting y'all know.
Right.
I must say
Right.
most of my thoughts later on, but
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't care for the Love remix either. So yeah,
There's a song that didn't make the album called "I Got Love for You." Is that the remix for it, or is that like a just an unreleased joint? Cause they were playing radio was playing that when this album came out, but it's not on the album.
I've never heard that joint.
That and I actually played when we did the Marley when we did the Easy Mo B beat battle. I played that song during the beat battle because Easy Mo B produced it, but for whatever reason it didn't make the album. But I don't know if it's a direct remix to Nothing But Love or if it's just like a joint that didn't make the album. But they that joint was always fire to me. You know what I'm saying? But this is definitely his signature song now. You know, Kid Capri did the beat. You know, legendary DJ love Kid Capri and the video with Chris Tucker was in the video and you had some models in the video as well and it was just great. And he had and the thing about Heavy, he had different shades of women in his videos. It wasn't just about light skinned women. He had dark skinned women. He had brown skinned women,
Right.
and he represented all shades of black. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's another classic song, and yeah, man, it's great record.
Yeah, man, I definitely, and that's one thing I loved about Heavy D and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He definitely gave love to his black women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, man, very, very, very dope. Next track we got is "Summertime." Oh, excuse me, not "Summertime." Something that's going on. Excuse me. This was a very dope joint too. If you guys recognize that sample, um, that was on that's Tanya Gardner's "Heartbeat." It's used a lot of times.
hmm
I know everyone knows the song. Nah, 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 nah,
yeah.
nah, 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 nah.
Hot Stepper, Ani
Yeah,
Kamosi.
hot
Yeah,
step.
yeah,
Yes. Here comes the hot stepper. Word
yes.
him up. I'm the
Word
lyrical
up.
gangster. That's a dance hall classic. Excuse me,
Definitely
Mr. Officer. No, no, we don't die. We won't. I was like, yo, this nigga hot.
fire,
Yo, where's that nigga?
fire.
Where's that nigga at now, though, man? Shit.
He's still doing it. He's still doing music and stuff.
He is. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's still
That's
alive.
what's
Yeah,
up, man. Other than that, yeah, this was a very dope track right here as well too. You know what I'm saying? Marley Marl definitely did his thing on the beat. You know what I'm saying? He's just heavy talking about like he dated this one girl. You know, she was fine as fuck, but then she don't really treat him well. You know what
right.
I'm saying? She just fucks around on him. So at the end of the day, he just had to kick it to the curb. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, most story is love yourself, love yourself and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
definitely a very hot joint. Again, love this one.
I love it. I grew up on that Tanya Garner heartbeat song, and it was classic, and so many people have sampled it, and I loved it. The Heavy D flowing over that beat, and it was dope. But definitely a solid record.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. All right, next joint we got is "This Is Your Night." Well, our good friend Patrice Russian comes. Wait, actually, no, excuse me. That's not that song. Excuse me. Huh. But it does use another recognizable sample. I'm just dropping sample lyrics, sample gems tonight. So whatever, don't
Hmm.
mind me. Um, all my George Benson fans, shout out to y'all. This Is Your Night definitely was a very, very cool song. Teddy Riley
Yeah,
actually did this beat. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Not really one of my favorite Teddy Riley beats. Keep it a buck with
Hmm.
you. Not a bad beat, but I just felt like the sample was very, very recognized. He didn't really do a lot with the sample. He just took that
Right.
the break and just
Yeah.
add some drums to it. He didn't really do a lot with it. But Heavy
Right.
D still elevates the production.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, definitely did his thing. Not really one of my favorites, but this is one that's definitely a vibe.
I love it, man. Like I actually got that George Benson record. And Give Me the Night classic record from George Benson, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think Teddy hooked it up. With the drums and he's probably I believe he was like doing some background singing on it, and it was great. It's a dance record. It's a upbeat joint, good vibes, some heavy, and one of my favorites on this album.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about that. All right, next is the Got Me Waiting remix. Yeah, like I mentioned before, I didn't really care too much for this remix. It was a bit too R&B ish for me. I forgot to mention Silk was also on this record too, and they done vocals. And I love Silk,
Hmm.
very 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 dope R&B group, but it felt kind of more like a Silk song featuring Heavy D.
Right.
I would just stick to the OG, but if you want to like get on with your girl, I mean, I
Yeah.
will play this playlist and shit like that too, you know. But it didn't
Yeah.
need a remix.
Yeah. I agree. Like I love the and the regular version was just so smooth. It was a different tone for Heavy to come out with that first single from this album, and they drop a remix with Silk. I like Silk. I'm not a huge fan of them. I like some of their records, and there's a remix video also for this, and it was a different mix, for this record, and this is like more of like the baby making remix, I would say, with a Heaven and Silk, but it was cool, you know.
Yeah, definitely a very cool joint right here. Um, and like I said before, this is like definitely something for the ladies and shit like that too.
Yeah,
All right. Next joint is Take Your Time. Now, okay, Patrice Russian came back again with the fucking what's that sample?
remind me.
Remind Me a sample,
Yeah,
which has been used a lot of fucking times, especially in the year '94, from where every album pretty much talks about and stuff like
right.
that. To Cut Close used it.
Yeah.
Um, I know Farside did that with the Passing Me By remix
Hmm.
and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Tragedy.
I love the way. Oh, I forgot Tragedy. Yes,
Hmm.
Grant
Faith Evans.
Grand Group, Faith
Hmm.
Evans.
Yep.
Yeah. So
A lot of people.
if you have a hip hop R&B track from either '93 to '95, they most likely use that sample.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Um, very 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 hot joint right here. Eric Sermon did this one. Something very different from Eric Sermon, you know, because at that time he was known for that more Jeep hip
Yeah.
hop, you know what I'm saying, kind of like boom bapish kind of shit. But this one was like a
Right.
little more melodic and
Yeah.
everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Not as melodic as something from the Double or Nothing record, which is my favorite Eric Sermon album. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But yeah, this was definitely a very distinctive beat from the Green Eyed Monster and everything
Hmm.
like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, pretty dope run. Again, traditional vintage Heavy D. Love this one.
Yeah. This is might be one of my favorites on here, like top two, because just because Eric Sermon is one of my favorite producers, and he still had like the Jeep beat, banging beating on this, and but it was more melodic because of the sample, and you have like a girl singing on the chorus, and it was just fire. I remember we used to have cookouts for that summer. This album came out like in May '94, and like when we had like the cookouts for that whole summer, I was playing this record during those cookouts. That's how much I loved it, and it was fire. I wish he had released a video for this, but the lines he say, I write raps, shoot CeeLo and craps. I'm a light skinned black with this hat to the back. Loved his flow on it, classic.
Yeah, definitely a very classic joint right here. All right. Next song is Spend a Little Time on Top. This is actually my favorite song off this album. You know what I'm saying? Um, Produced by Marty Mall. K Def also did some scratches on this one too. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Again, another track that uses a very familiar sample. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna say the sample this time. Y'all should just know that shit because it's been used a lot of fucking a lot of
yeah.
great records and shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? This is just definitely a sex joint. Like I said before, this album has like a little bit of everything from the past Heavy D albums, and this joint right here definitely has some traces of the Blue Funk album and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And like in terms of productions, but Heavy kind of toned it down. You know, not that he was over the top, not that he was fucking over the
Right.
top with the one on Blue Funk, but he just toned it down a little bit and everything. Very 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 hot joint and everything like that too. I love the way Marley actually used a sample. I felt like
Hmm.
this was definitely a very, very dope way he used the sample. He got to sped up the tempo a little bit and
Yeah.
added like a lot of like instrumentation scratches on this one and everything like that too. So definitely a fire joint. This is the Heavy D song I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but
Yeah.
at the same time, this one right here, you can't miss this one. This is definitely a favorite of mine.
Hmm.
I wish Marley would have done a lot more stuff with Heavy D, but he
Yeah.
did a good amount of stuff over the years. But hey,
This was dope. Definitely, it's a freaky sex joint. You got women moaning up, well, not moaning, but they're like, doing heavy breathing on the record, and he just being downright, freakish on this joint, and the beat. When you hear the beat, it sound like a beat that I could hear Lords of the Underground on, especially at that
yeah,
time for like '94 when Marley and K Duff was doing a lot for Lords and the Youngsters and world renowned and those cats, and definitely it could have been on Lords of the Underground second album, and this is definitely a fire joint.
yeah. I can even see the youngsters on this
Yeah,
beat too.
yeah, definitely because they did such joints as well. Either it was done by Marley or K Def at that time. So
Right.
you know,
Yeah, man. And that's another group that got better with each album, in my personal opinion.
yes, definitely.
Because that first joint they came out with, I liked
Mhm.
it, but
Mhm.
it was like at that time people were just trying to not trying to rap like Crisscross, but
Yeah,
they want to be more hardcore and
yeah,
everything like that too, and everything. But then once they grew up, they stepped their pen game up. Beats
definitely.
got better. I feel like they definitely had one of the most underrated discographies in hip hop, in my personal
Oh
opinion.
yeah, definitely. I,
I
I
just wish
agree.
they were like, yeah, I just wish they got more recognition than what they got. But everyone
Mhm.
loves Crisscross and all that shit. And like I said, Crisscross, they cool, but
I
I just
liked
don't
all
like
of
that
them.
second album.
I liked all of them, and I couldn't understand why you had illegal was going at Crisscross and ABC and the youngsters. I'm like, what is this? Why Crisscross come out of nowhere and they go multi-platinum. Everybody hates them all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So um, I think a lot of that had to do with Jermaine, but
Yeah,
I listened to all of them. I have all of their albums. A legal one. I never bought a Legals album. I need to get that one. ABC's
yeah,
first album I had on cassette back in the day, but I was a huge Crisscross fan. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't understand. I felt like it was hate, but I also understood from the youngsters and the legals part, like, oh, well, these niggas, Jermaine found them in the mall. He wrote their raps, and we actually doing it. Where's our recognition? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I understood that, back then, but they all, when you look back at it now, they all legends to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the youngsters severely underrated. They need their flowers. Illegal as well. You know what I'm saying? ABC got their flowers. They sold multi-millions, and I know Biv talked about that in his documentary. But
We need to
yeah,
talk about that.
definitely, youngsters definitely got better with every album. That Aftermath album, one of their best.
Ooh.
I played that like every day when that shit dropped.
Yes. Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you about that. I gotta get. I think the only album I'm missing is maybe I
Mm,
think their first album. I gotta double check honestly.
yeah, I only have No Mercy. Aftermath I had on cassette, but No Mercy is the only one I got on CD.
Definitely. All right. Next joint. Keep it going. Um, this one was another dope, cool joint right here too. You know what I'm saying? Heavy D and Troy Williams. They did the beat for this one. It's like a lot more jazzier. So
Yeah,
yeah, very fire.
this was dope. Definitely love the beat on this, the pianos on this. Solid album cut.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. All right, and the next joint we got is Black Coffee. Very great song, in my opinion. Like I feel like as a single, this one kind of gets a little slept on too. But this was actually the lead single from
Yeah.
the album and stuff like that. And this is produced by Easy Mo B. You know what I'm saying? Again, another Biggie connection and everything. You know what I'm saying? But besides the point, this one right here was definitely like Heavy D's tribute to like black women and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that too. Which let's be real, all of his songs were tribute to black women, all of his love songs. But this one
Mm-hmm.
most specific. specifically, paid homage to that shit. I love the line where he says, "She impressed from your cunny honey dialect, She's only flex with the brother can handle it, and don't care if she's a little bit jealous. She can still be a lady while she's cooling with the fellas." You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's a very real line too, and shit like that too. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So, um, this one was a very dope joint. I love the beat Easy Mo B did for this
Yes.
one and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely when you hear like that bass line and that's the samples and everything. I was like, yeah, that's
Hmm.
definitely Easy Mo B beat and shit
Yes.
like that. You know what I'm saying? So fire joint.
Classic joint. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. That's the kind of girl I need down with my team. Love this joint. Again, like he had different shades of beautiful black women represented in the video, and he's dancing with them, and the beat was, I love that bass line for it, and the beat. Pete Rock co-produced it with Mo B also, and
Oh shit. Okay.
I want to say I when we did the Moby battle, I played it. It was either the Moby battle or the Pete Rock battle. I remember playing it, but this has always been one of my favorites from this album. Classic record, man.
Yeah, definitely a classic record indeed. All right. Next joint is called Move On. Um, Another very cool joint right here. Um, Very relatable track right here. Is just talking about how people who like dwell up in the past or just fucking stressed out. You just got to move on from that shit. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Very, very, very dope usage of the Diana Ross Love Hangover sample.
Yes.
And Tone from the Track Masters was working on this shit too. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy too because he actually used the same sample from the Peaceful Journey album for the Molly March track, The
Hmm.
Lover Got What You Need.
Right.
But the thing with that one is like I feel like Tone actually did it the sample better
Yeah.
and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope usage of that sample. And again, Vina Mojica also did vocals on this track too.
Hmm. Yeah. The Lovers Got What You Need was, it sounded more of a disco track for
Yeah,
the way that was hooked up. I think Molly Mo did that one. It had like a
yes,
more of a
sir.
disco sound to it, and this one, Track Masters, they had a great working relationship with Have. They did Soul for Real's first album was classic. I think they did stuff with Monifa on her first album, and
Y-
they
Yep.
were working with everybody. This is when they were in their bag, and Tone, he added like some pianos on it, some keys, and the beat was fire. Loved the Diana Ross sample. You had Kenny Green from Intro also on that. Rest in peace to him. And I love Heavy's flow on this. He said, you heard about Dave? I heard he beat up a crack slave. The slave was brave and put Dave in the grave. And that little part in the song where they're like, you gotta move on, black man, move on. Brand Nubian did that too on their first album.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So it was great. Like that part there gave me Brand Nubian vibes. I'm like, I thought back to Wake Up, the Wake Up joint on their first album, and
Ooh,
classic record. I love this joint.
I love that joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And like I said before, this definitely had like some blue funk vibes with this track. It definitely had some blue funk vibes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I definitely love like again the subject matter he was tackling on this track, and also it just shows you too that Hev again he was not just the ladies man kind of dude and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He actually was on some socially conscious record. Like hell, he was on Self Destruction, one of
Hmm.
the illest verses on that track
Facts.
right there, in my
Facts.
personal opinion. And stuff. So
He
yeah,
wasn't
man,
just
this
a
one right
ladies'
here.
man. He spoke to the ills of society, and um, he was great, man. He definitely gonna be missed forever.
Right. Like I want to see Drake do some shit like that too. Like,
Right?
cause now,
And
yeah,
you know what the excuse with that is? Oh well, Drake is not that type of artist. His lane is about the females. I'm like, but to be an all around artist, you should tackle stuff going on in society, so people can
exactly.
can be so you can be more relatable to the people that support you when they go out and they spend their hard earned money on your concert tickets.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, definitely move on. Definitely a very ill ass track. And the last song on this album is like the Lord's Prayer. It just simply has Heavy's nephews saying the Lord's Prayer, so surreal, or doing like the background vocals and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Pretty ill track. You know what I'm saying? Not really again, nice way to end off the album, and
Hmm.
it's the end of the Heavy D and the Boys track too. So yeah,
Right. Yeah. This was cool. We had the kids singing the Lord's Prayer and Soul for Real. And I think I would have wanted the Friends and Respect intro to be the outro. So then if you play the outro for 5 minutes and you hear all these artists that have respect for me, it kind of made more sense to me than to start off the album with a 5 minute long, gratitude track. I think Friends
right.
and Respect should have been the last track, but Lord's Prayer was cool, and that's a prayer that my grandmother taught us when we were little. So we were saying this every night before we go to bed, and you know, it was great.
Yeah, definitely a very great song indeed. All right, and that's overall the whole album. Like I mentioned before, this is my favorite album from them. You know what I'm saying? Very well rounded album.
Yeah,
I could have done without like the Got Me Waiting remix, but
right.
it's a remix, so it is what it is. But at the same time, the production definitely gave you that summertime mid '90s feel to it. Like I said before, definitely felt like it was like a nice, like whenever I think about this album, it's like a thank you for the fans and everything.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? It's like all Heaven wants to show y'all is just love and just
Hmm.
positivity in this music and
Yeah.
everything like that too. And I definitely feel like, as a final album, this is definitely is like one of my favorites. I'll put this probably top five
Hmm.
and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this is a 5 mic classic. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what nobody said. This album is a 5 mic classic. Must
Definitely.
have in your collection.
I grew up with this album um, as a teenager, and seeing Have that same year perform a lot of the songs from this album, and for it to be like the last Heavy D and the Boys album, it was a great way to go out. He definitely left us with a gem. The production from Pete Rock and Eric Sermon, Teddy, Marley, Kid Capri doing the title track, and track masters, like you had an assorted flavor of producers in their prime. Only one he was missing on here was Primo. When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? And Primo was so busy doing stuff for Group Home and Bahamadia and Gangstar's own albums, he probably didn't have time. But this is definitely a classic 5 mic all around. No skips on this album. Even with the remix for Got Me Waiting, it was cool. It was a different vibe for Heavy, and I know why Heavy did it, but there's no skips on this album for me. Like everything to me was great. You know what I'm saying? They picked the right singles. The album cuts. Take your time and spend a little time on top. Set with you were great. 5 mics all around for me. Rest in peace, Heavy D.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so before I head out, I have a few announcements I want to make. So we just reached the end of our Heavy D and the Boys, but that does not mean our coverage for Heavy D ends with Nothing But Love. We're going to talk about the solo albums, but since I'm kind of stretched out in time, we're going to do 2 weeks of double reviews. Wait, yeah, 2 weeks of double reviews. So next week is going to be Waterbed Hev and Heavy, and the week after that, we're going to also talk about the Vibes album and the Love Opus album and everything too. So we're just going to give y'all the solo albums, just knock all that shit out at once. And our next artist Sunday, we are actually going to talk about um, the native tongues. And I know what you guys are thinking. We've talked about, or I've talked about the Tribe albums, De La albums,
Mm.
so on and so on. But this time we're going to talk about like Black Sheep's 2 albums. That's going to be a double review, and we're going to kick it off with that, which I really can't wait to talk about. I got the second album on vinyl and shit like that
I
too.
never
You know
bought
what
the
I'm saying?
second one. Never bought the second one.
Oh wow, I feel you. And then we're gonna also talk about the Jungle Brothers, with the JBs, with the Remedy and the Raw Deluxe from '93 and '97 respectively. We're also going to talk about Chi Ali's first album, or his only
Nice.
album. Let me
His
say,
only
yeah,
album.
yeah. And Let me see. Hold on. Let me just double check on one thing. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that and stuff like that. Yep, we're just gonna go with that. And I really can't wait to talk about those because once I talk about those records, I'll definitely finish off my what the native tongues, discography and everything like that too.
Yeah.
And right after the native tongues, we're gonna keep it on the hip hop link. We're gonna do Salt and Pepper discography, artist Sunday and stuff too.
Oh,
Which
oh,
that one really can't wait to talk about that one
I
because
love it.
we never actually reviewed Salt and Pepper, and I've been promising y'all that for years.
I thought we did. I thought we did very necessary. We didn't do that one.
Okay, we did. Wait. Hold on. Did we do that?
I thought we had did that one.
Let
Maybe we
me.
did.
Let me double check. Let me double check because I know we didn't do that on your channel.
Yeah, yeah. And we never did that on my channel, but
All right. But while I'm checking that out and
yeah,
everything, in case we didn't do, we're gonna talk about their first five albums. Well, their five albums. But we also going to, you know how we always have bonuses. We're going to talk about Herbie Lovebug's compilation album, The House That Herbie Built, since that does
I never
have
heard that one.
some like yeah. I only heard one song, and that's that I Am Down track from Salt and Pepper.
Okay,
That's like that's actually my favorite Salt and Pepper song they've
right.
done. Believe it or not, I'm gonna say my thoughts on that. So yeah, we're gonna give love to Salt and Pepper. I only have the Black Magic album to be real with you, but you know what? It's cool.
Black Magic and Very Necessary. I got those two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we never did
You
any
never
Salt and
you
Pepper
never talk
album.
about it? Okay.
The only Salt and Pepper video we did was the thoughts on the movie
Oh, that's right. Was it VH1? That was on VH1, or was that A&E? I
Lifetime.
think it was
It was on
Lifetime. Yeah.
Lifetime.
Okay. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good film. I enjoyed that one.
Oh yeah. So I definitely can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
And this is not an artist Sunday, but we're also going to talk about Princess post to just 2000s onward stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which
Hmm.
that's going to be
Yeah.
sporadically and stuff like that too. You know, probably every other 2 weeks and
I've been
stuff
in I've been
because
in a Prince mood too. Like I've been listening to like his channel been uploading, a lot of the different
yes.
song versions from the Diamonds and Pearls special edition, like the Cream extended mix and
Oh yes.
Live for Love, and I'm in a Prince mood right now, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Hell, maybe we might do a review of Diamonds and Pearls. You
Yeah.
never know.
And that
You never
anniversary
know.
just passed for that. It was yesterday, I think, right? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my opinion on the album kind of changed. That's all I'm going to say.
Hmm.
But when it comes to like the Prince reviews for the 2000s onward, I know he dropped like a lot of like jazz and instrumental albums. I'm not really going to discuss those. I'm probably just going to do like a mention. Okay, this album was such and such, such and such.
Right.
But probably just going to keep it on a traditional landscape. And there's going to be a double review of Chocolate Invasion and the Slaughterhouse, which that's like unreleased songs and everything like that. But I don't know if I really want to talk about that right after musicology
Right.
or just wait until after we do all the Prince albums and then circle back. I'm not too sure
Mhm.
how I'll do that yet. So probably by mid-October I'll have an answer. And of course, we got the Mariah Carey latter albums in
Right. Right.
December, like
Oh
November,
Lord.
December, whenever I start all that shit.
I
So
think I might
those are
have
like
to
all
have Henny for that. I might have to
well,
drink some Henny for that one.
hold on, let me count. Let me count how many Mariah albums.
Holy
Hold on.
shit. That's the worst of the worst when it comes to those Mariah albums.
Because I was thinking about just doing a Mariah week. I was thinking about
Oh
just
Lord.
doing that.
Mariah weak. Is she dying? What the fuck? Mariah weak.
Okay,
Oh man.
so you got E equals MC squared, the Memoirs album, the Merry Christmas to You, which
Oh God.
I might just talk about the first Merry Christmas album because
Oh
I heard
man.
some of that Merry Christmas to You. I'm just gonna leave it at there. Me, I Am Mariah, and the Caution album. So
Jesus Christ. The worst of the worst. Oh man.
do want to
Oh,
talk. I do want to dedicate a lot of December for Christmas movies, and I do want to dedicate a lot of October to horrorcore and scary movies as well too. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So I know this month I do plan on doing a movie review of The Blackening. You know what I'm saying? One of the best movies this year. I'm just gonna be keeping it a buck, keep it a fucking buck, because it's been a slow fucking year for movies. But
Yeah.
Blackening, if you guys have not seen that shit, I don't know what to tell you. Put down that Barbie movie down and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, hell, I might watch that movie tonight if I can find a good copy on Fire Stick. Honestly, but
Yeah, it's on there
yeah,
already.
I figured that. Yeah, but I also do have some other horrorcore albums. Some horrorcore reviews are definitely going to come next week and everything like that. I just got to get my mind right, you know, because the Steve Harvey breakdown is this Saturday at 12:15. Steve Harvey show, excuse me. I'm going to be real with you guys. That's going to be a very straightforward review and everything. That's probably the most straightforward sitcom retrospective we've ever done. To be keeping it a buck with you, and it's like I feel like the strongest seasons was the earlier seasons, but each season it didn't go bad. It just kind of lost some of those flavors. Like these motherfuckers were in high school for too damn long and shit like that too. So, but it's definitely a funny show. I would say like a
Mhm.
good 70% of the show was very funny. The last two seasons,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But um, Ducktales is definitely going to be later on this month as well too. Probably early November. Then we got Amen and Eleven and Shirley coming next month, God willing. You got Family Matters. I'm trying to squeeze that in there somehow in December. I also want to talk about, I don't know if you're interested, but me and Mike are planning on doing a discussion on the Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd show, Moonlighting, because
Oh,
that's going to come on.
Moonlight. My mother used to watch that shit. She was into that.
How does all the shows I like your mom likes?
Because you like the shit my mother watch. You watch shit, old people shit. I don't.
Well, I'm going to be real with you. I've always wanted to see this. I've seen bits and pieces of this show, and it
Mhm.
was a very great but weird mixture of comedy,
Mhm.
drama, romance, and even trippy shit. Because it's like one of those, let's throw shit on the wall to see what works.
Right.
And I'm kind of great. I always thought it was on streaming, like on
It's
Tubi
on
or free.
Netflix. They have it on Netflix now.
Moonlighting,
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
the original.
Hmm. But they only
Oh
made
wow,
one. They didn't do a reboot or nothing.
oh wow. Hold up, man. I thought it
Yeah,
was coming on
they
Hulu,
got they
but
got the season on Netflix. That's why I was telling I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, Reg, she likes the shit that Reg watches. I'm like, you need to get her for that live show because I
hey,
don't watch Moonlight. So you
like
know
I
what I
said,
mean?
I want to see it. I've never actually seen it and stuff like that because I was kind of interested in just the whole plot, but definitely, definitely
I
something.
remember it because like when I was little, like my mom, that's what my mom used to watch that, and then I remember like the song that Al Jarreau sang, "Rest in Peace, Al Jarreau."
Yes,
You know what I'm
Algebra.
saying? It came, it used to come on ABC, but I didn't watch it. And I remember when Die Hard first came out, I remember saying like that's the guy from that Moonlighting show my mother watched. That he was playing John McClane, but yeah, I never watched it. So, you know,
Okay. Well, it's not on Netflix, but I'll just wait till it
I
comes
thought
on
it was
Hulu.
on Netflix, or it's supposed to be coming to Netflix or something.
Yeah, they said
I know
Hulu.
it's coming to streaming. I thought it was Netflix. Maybe it's Hulu or one of them.
Yeah, it's Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Bruce Willis, keep your head up. You know, he has dementia now. It's crazy. It's crazy as hell. And then we're gonna end off. Before I go on break, we're just gonna talk about the Cosby Show and maybe another collection video, probably mid to late January. I don't know yet. Let me see how. I got a lot of things I gotta deal and work on and stuff like that too. I'm trying to work on a new music video pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? I know people have their issues with Bill Cosby, but you know what?
Fuck that.
The Cosby Show. We're not gonna mention
Well,
it. So we're just
I
gonna
mean,
talk
R.
about
Kelly had his issues, and I love his music, so I'm not gonna erase that because he locked up. That's what people have got an issue with that.
right.
Bill Cosby's a legend, and he has to get his flowers, regardless of what he
Definitely.
did.
Yeah, definitely. Or if he did it, but that's another story.
Right. This man is
Cause
like,
some,
oh, how old is Bill Cosby now? Like 90 years old. Like this, the statute
yeah,
of
cause
limitations on that shit is over as far as I'm concerned. They waited too long to
right, but
speak up. Now you want to speak up when the man is like old, elderly. You know.
shit. But other than that, yeah, man, got a trash review next week too. Really can't wait. You know,
Oh shit. You're doing trash. Another one, huh? Who is it this time? I'm curious. Is it Little
you
Kim?
already know.
It's Little
Yeah,
Kim, huh?
that's.
Oh my
I want
lord.
to start out this month so something scary. So yeah.
Something scary. You see how she looked? She looks scary. It's not even an album.
Chill,
Holy shit,
chill. But
man.
yeah, I also definitely got some newer albums coming up soon. Be on the lookout for Victoria Monet's review and stuff like that. Because everyone keeps saying you gotta listen to this record. I was like,
Right.
well, I
I
never
didn't hear
listened to
it.
Victoria.
I remember when it came out. I didn't listen to it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
And she
I've been
been
too
out
busy to
for a
listen on
long
that.
time. I remember she was like down with Ninth Wonder.
Yeah, definitely.
She was out for a minute.
But hey, people recognize shit
Yeah,
when they least
when they
expect it.
want
That's all
to,
I'm gonna
right?
say.
I'm
They
like, yeah,
want
I
to.
was listening to Victoria when she was doing mixtapes like 10 years ago.
Hell, I
I
was
was like,
listening to SZA when she dropped them ZEPs and all
right.
that crap and stuff like before
Mm-hmm.
everyone became a fan.
I
You
mean,
know what I'm
everyone
saying?
became a
So
fan. Yep.
right. And like I said, we got a lot. We got like a lot of reviews stacked up and shit like that too. Like I said, tomorrow at 8 p.m. it's gonna be the Cameron Come Home With Me review. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Definitely that's actually my favorite Cameron album. You know what I'm saying? I never actually Purple Haze is definitely gonna be talked about at some capacity because a lot of people say that's his best album, but
Yeah.
I've never actually heard that album in full. But stay tuned on that. Other than that, anything you want to say before we head out?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
I'm sure.
Well, everybody, thank y'all so much for watching this episode of Hip Hop Review. If you guys want to buy this album, I know this album's out of print, but it's relatively very cheap. So definitely pick those albums up. It's been so great talking about the Heavy D and the Boys album.
Yeah.
Definitely can't wait to talk about the solo album this next week. So be on the lookout for that. And y'all have a very good night and be safe.
All
Peace.
right. Peace.